Your lesson essential question is, how do I use sequence words to explain how key details are connected in a historical text? So today you're going to be explaining connections using sequence words. So you're going to be doing some writing today. Remember, a historical text is a text that tells us something about history. So it might talk about a person, it might talk about an event, it might talk about a place. You're going to be using sequence words. So these are just some sequence words. First, right after, when, end, then, afterward, last, before, middle, finally, in conclusion, now, after, beginning. We also talked about how we could use dates, days, we could use times. So signal words for sequence are words that tell when something happened. Yesterday we read A New Flag for a New Nation. This is a historical text. It tells us about an event. It tells us about how the American flag was made. I'm going to reread this with you today, and then you're going to be doing some writing with it. So as I'm reading out loud today, I'd like for you to try to read out loud with me. A new flag for a new nation. Ready? A long time ago, in the 1700s, the United States was not a country yet. People lived in 13 colonies. The colonies belonged to England. The people in the colonies wanted to be free. They decided to fight for freedom. The people needed a flag that would stand for all 13 colonies. General George Washington wanted a flag that everyone would recognize. It would unite the 13 colonies. Where would this flag come from? Remember, you're reading out loud with me. One story says that first, General George Washington went to see Betsy Ross. She had a sewing shop in Pennsylvania. He asked Betsy Ross if she would make a flag for the 13 colonies. She said yes. Betsy Ross made a flag with 13 stars and 13 stripes. Each star and stripe stood for a colony. The flag that Betsy Ross made was an important symbol in the fight for freedom. It helped the colonists feel proud. Soon, the colonies would become one country. This new flag would stand for the United States of America. I'd like to ask you, when did this story take place? When did this event take place? You probably said it happened in the 1700s. So we know that General George Washington wanted a flag. What did he do first? Okay, first he went to see Betsy Ross. We're going to stop there because you're going to be writing about how we got the American flag in your writing today. Let's take a look again at our writing rubric. This is just a quick write, so it's only going to be about 4, maybe 5 sentences. and you're going to be using key details from the text. So to get a 4, you need to make sure that you restate the question, you answer the question correctly, and you prove your answer using at least 2 details from the text. So that's when we use our text evidence. So these are just a few examples of text evidence. You might say on page blank, it said. So I might say on page 40, this is page 40, it said, first, General George Washington went to see Betsy Ross. In paragraph 2, it said George Washington went to see Betsy Ross. You might say, I know because, or I know this because. Or the author said, for example, based on the text, from what I read, I know that. So it's important that we're using details from the text, but it's important that we're saying that those details came from the text. So you're going to be answering your writing assignment today. You can either handwrite it on your notebook and upload a picture of it, or you can type it. But remember, you need to follow your rubric. This is posted in the assignment, and the text is also there too.